Welcome to the K Fits My Life / my exjw life channel, a place where JWs can come, sit down their bags, take out their magazines and their publications, and place them in a bin and set that bin ablaze and start life anew. I want to talk today about walking away from the Watchtower can lead you down a lonely road. I walked away from the Watchtower when I was approximately 26 years of age, and I haven't looked back. But one thing I've learned over the course of my life is that choices often and always have consequences. And while I am pleased with the choice I've made, I unfortunately have to deal with the consequences of those choices. And the choice of walking away from the Watchtower led me down a road of loneliness. As anyone has been on my channel, or anyone who has been on my channel for an extended period of time knows that walking away from the Watchtower cost me my family, and in part and indirectly had an impact on my marriage ending, and it has had an impact on the way I look at the world. Last night I came home and I hadn't left any lights on in the house. So I came in and it was dark. The only light that was on was the blue light on my router. So my living room had this blue hue all around it. But there was no one here. It was just me. And there are times where the silence isn't so loud. But then there are days where the silence is deafening. And last night was one of those days. And I sat on my couch and I started to think about old times. Times when I was still a member of the Watchtower organization, and I was still married. One thing about the Watchtower organization is that there's never a shortage of people around. And I thought about all the times with my friends where we were having gatherings, or when I was still married, having her family and my family and friends all fellowshipping. And as much as I am against the Watchtower at this point in my life, I would be lying if I said that there weren't good memories. And last night, as I sat on my couch in the dark, alone, those memories came flooding back. Along with the memories of being in a relationship and the feelings of love and contentment and joy. All the things that come along with being in a relationship with someone. A relationship that ended in December. And I laid back on my couch and the tears started to roll down my face as I sat here in my living room alone. Sad, wishing that there was someone here that understood what it feels like to lose everything because you stand for something. And I know, as someone who left the Watchtower community, that there are others who have left the community that deal with the same issues. I'm sure we all do at some point. And there are days when the hardest thing for me to do throughout the entire day is to simply get out of the bed and face the day. There are days when I wish I could just lay in bed and not think about it and just shut the entire world out and just be alone with my thoughts. And there are days when I go out into the world and I don't want to speak to anyone. I don't want anyone to speak to me. Because loneliness can cause a great deal of mishaps in your mind. And it's difficult to deal with from time to time. I've been without my parents for a really long time. And I just recently, as anyone who has been on my channel for an extended period of time knows, I had just recently reconnected with my parents, but found out that my father has prostate cancer. Well, and reuniting with him, I thought, well, at the very least, we were able to reconnect before something bad happened. Well, my father and I, and my mother and father have stopped speaking to me again. And through my aunt, I found out that my father's cancer has spread to another part of his body. So now I have to deal with knowing that since we aren't speaking, there is a very good chance that the next time I see him, he will be in a casket. I can say whatever I want to say to him at that point, but he won't hear it. He won't be able to respond. And that is a very difficult thing to wrap your head around. And being a part of this XJW community, I know that I am not the only one that has to deal with those thoughts. I remember when my ex-girlfriend and I were together, there was one day that she had slept over, and I got up at about 5 a.m. to go to work. And I got home, and the door was already open, and I could look through the door, and she was there. And I saw her sitting on the couch. And I came in and I said, "It's really good to see you here when I get home." It was a really good feeling. And it's something that I haven't experienced in a really long time up to that point. And now it's something that I don't experience. And I don't necessarily have to have someone in my life. I'm not one of those guys. I've been alone for a really long time. But that doesn't mean that you don't like it. And being someone who walked away from the Watchtower, lonely days are a major part of one of the issues that we all deal with. And not just for people who left the Watchtower. It has been stated in medical journals recently that loneliness is one of the biggest issues that Americans in general deal with. And loneliness can lead to depression, a lot of other mental issues. Today, it was all I could do to get up and actually make this recording. And I don't want this to turn into a really long speech. But if there is anyone who is thinking of leaving the Watchtower organization, just know that there will be days when you may very well be alone for an extended period of time. And you have to get your head wrapped around that idea, and you have to get your mind prepared for the fact that the things that you've been used to, the people that you've become accustomed to seeing, the things that you've become accustomed to doing, the life that you've become accustomed to living is all about to change. It will never be the same. It will never be the same. That life, that person that you were, and those people who knew you as you were are going to be gone. Because in a very real way, once you leave that organization, the person that they knew you to be has passed away. And they don't know this new person, and they don't like this new person. You have literally become someone new new person with old baggage. And sometimes it takes time to go out into the world and make new friends with new types of people, with your new way of thinking that is still heavily influenced by your old indoctrination. Walking away from the Watchtower can lead to a very, very lonely road. But conversely, eventually, you will make friends. You will start over. You'll find new relationships. You'll find new activities. You'll find new ways of living that will take your mind off of the road that you are on because of the road that you left. Is it easy? No, it isn't. Is it worth it? I can honestly say that even though the road I am on is treacherous, it's hard, it can be very lonely, whatever obstacle is on that road isn't large enough for me to do a U-turn and go back to the road that I was on. Whatever that obstacle is something that I will just climb over or go straight through, because I am positive that eventually on the path that I am on, that path will lead to the goal that I know I am worthy of. And again, nothing worth having comes easily. We all know that. So on those days when you miss the past, when you miss all the good times, all the laughs, all the food at the gatherings, all the fellowship, the playing the games, the sitting around singing kingdom melodies, going to the conventions and having a hoagie and a Danish, standing around after the meetings, talking with your friends, going out to eat after the memorial, taking the circuit overseer out to dinner, and now it may be a situation where you have to take you out to dinner. You have to go it alone for a while. Or the people who you do have in your life may not fully understand what it is that you have gone through. And in instances like that, you can be surrounded by people, yet still feel alone. just know that there is a community of people who understand how you feel, and I am one of them. And all the MyLifers on this channel understand how you feel. We understand how each other feels, and we are here for you and one another, as they have all been here for me. I am also here for you. So don't ever think that the loneliness that you feel is actually insurmountable, because we are all here for each other. I hope sincerely that you get through any hard time that you're going through. And if this video has been helpful in any way, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, MyLifers. And even though the road may be treacherous, keep walking, because your goal is what you make it, and you're walking toward it. Have an amazing day, MyLifers.